Hello again, folks, and I'm gonna make a little interesting video here. Someone that I've followed for quite a few years recently made a video on his YouTube channel in regards to being limited by a community copyright strike. And when he revealed who the company is that submitted the strike to YouTube, it's definitely a company that I've loved and hated over the years, and I won't deny that some of their products I wouldn't mind owning. But at the end of the day, Gibson, yes, you Gibson, are fucking assholes. Because your legal team has taken upon themselves to issue a YouTube strike, community strike against the person that I've known for a while, China Guitar Skeptic, for one video out of his whole channel that looks like something that they're trying to claim is somehow promoting Gibsons. I really find this offensive, and let me say something very un-Canadian-like to you, Gibson. Fuck yous. Yous don't deserve your customer base. Yous don't deserve to be in business. And in fact, yous recently got downgraded a credit rating. I wonder why that is. Maybe because you've been, for the last 3 to 4 decades, putting out shit and overproducing on top of that. How about if us, the consumer, actually started lawsuits against yous? I think it's only fair. After all, yous are claiming that yous are hand-making guitars, but yous yourselves in your own custom shop videos and everything else show CNC machining, which by all rights shouldn't affect your quality control. But sure enough, there's another fellow YouTuber who goes into a guitar center, looks at a Gibson J15 $1,500 acoustic that has a nice 1-inch crack separating the heel from the body on it. Yeah, quality control or $1,500? So what's Gibson's strategy in all this? Well, we're going to go after anyone who actually produces anything close to us, and might take away from our sales. Prime example of this is also recently I follow a small-time builder who has the name, kind of a smart strategy here on promotion. His guitar brand is Vagina Guitars. Yes, Vagina Guitars. And he has a nice headstock design, and you know, he actually makes really nice guitars. That said, Gibson has recently contacted him in regards to supposedly trademark issues, and the Gibson legal team has given them a cease and desist notification on, I believe it was a Explorer body type, I believe it is, and it's like, okay, for one, he's a small-time builder. Secondly, he doesn't make a lot of them. So this is what I don't understand, is how Gibson really has a screwed up legal team that would go after people that don't produce thousands upon thousands of guitars. And this isn't the only thing that's been going on. They're becoming copyright bullies in itself, because they have a patent or copy based in the US on a certain shape that they feel that, oh, anyone that makes anything resembling it, you need to be sued, blah blah blah, you're infringing on our copyright. No. Let me make something clear to you, Gibson. If your product was actually up to snuff in the first place, there'd be no reason to go after these people. Secondly, how about instead of going after them, offering them a friggin' pay for to use the copyright. You will throw millions of dollars after a legal team to go and chase people that are supposedly illegally producing your copyrighted body shapes and stupid shit, but instead of simply finding someone that actually produces something of that shape, that actually is making, in some instances, going after people that might be lucky that if they make $50, it just boggles my mind. You know, again, it reminds me of stupid fucking American friggin' capitalist bullshit, I guess you could say. And yeah, there's my little rant going on about American type stuff, but going after small people, you know, I could understand if you went after, say, ESP, Paul Reed Smith, which, again, you've attempted to and failed because of the simple fact that, you know, it's bullshit. And, you know, this is Gibson's failed attempts to stand on their last leg and their legacy. And I know myself as a consumer, every time I hear something like this, if I ever had the money to actually buy a Gibson, more and more and more, you're pushing me away to the competitor. And I don't know when Gibson is going to, you know, understand that they keep shooting their own damn selves in the foot. Not only by this constantly going after people for stupid reasons, such as, unfortunately, China Guitar Skeptic's channel gets a knock. Meanwhile, he shows every single reason why you shouldn't buy a Chibson, and the reason why you should buy a Gibson. But for some reason, Gibson's legal team happens to not look at any of his other videos that show him saying that he's not a Chibson supporter or whatever, or promoter as they claimed. Again, myself, if I had the means, and I'm encouraging anyone else out there, if you were fed up with Gibson as much as I am, I would be suing their asses for a change. See how they would like it if they were sued. Because to me, this is corporate harassment or something along the lines. Very easily false advertising by claiming that their products are handmade, when about 99% of the time, 99% of the time, it's all off of automated systems. barely is there ever at any point in time the guitar actually having hands on it, putting stuff into it to make it. Very little time is that even occurring. And how about the prices? This again is another thing that Gibson shoots themselves in the ass with every single time. Oh, Les Paul Studio, blah 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 blah. $1,200, but cost you $300 to make. So where's the justification in $1,200 for an instrument that over the last probably 3-4 decades has been produced poorly? You know, you really have no justification for making the claims that you do. And like I said, if I was a consumer and actually went out and bought one of your products that was not up to what you advertise as being the best in the world and whatnot, I would be wholeheartedly suing your asses into the ground because you're false advertising. The fact that your company thinks it's cool to knock out up to 2,000 instruments or whatever the hell, you know, maybe 1,000 instruments in a month to make like about 12,000 a year or something like that. I don't know the exact numbers, but to insist that you want to multi-produce instruments, you've not only devalued your equipment, your instruments that you are selling on the market, but you are also devaluing your name. You also further enhance your competitors' ability to get you in sales. So, anyways, Gibson wants to flag my channel for my comments. Go right the fuck ahead, but I will find legal means to change that because you have no rights to, you know, at the end of the day, it's us, the consumers, that help your company to exist. And you have absolutely no rights to go after, especially consumers that are actually defending your product name. Like, how fucking stupid is that? That said, folks, that's my rant about Gibson. Again, all I can say is the only way Gibson is gonna learn that they need to put their shit in order is for us, the consumers, to stop giving into buying their brand name products, buying products from any other company. Which out there is tons of companies that put out better product for lower price than what Gibson asks for their money. And you know, in this day and age, it just makes no sense why somebody should buy a $3,000 Gibson if there is an equivalent that might cost $300. What's the point of owning the Gibson other than to have the name on the headstock? The name doesn't help you play music. You yourself are what plays the music. You're the one who's inspired to play music of any genre, and that's simply how it should be. Shouldn't be because of a name on a headstock or a guitar shape. Heck, you can play a cigar box and still play great music or make music. You don't need $3,000 instruments. Again, marketing, subliminal marketing. Intel is just beautiful for doing that as well too, and I've mentioned that in the past, how they've pounded it into people's heads. It's not a PC unless it's Intel inside, unquote. So that's what everybody goes and buys. Oh, I want to overclock. Well, guess what? Even as of late, Intel is now stopping their overclocking of their chips because they have such a stranglehold on the market because people keep buying into the bullshit and buying their product over companies that screw us over as consumers to have a choice. It's unfortunately the way societies became. Oh, and lastly to Gibson, before I end this video, you would actually sell a lot more Epiphone product if you actually used the open book that you allowed in Japan in North American markets. So much more easier you guys could be making profits and having decent quality stuff out that people would buy. All I gotta see is Gibson, they keep going the way they're going, it's bye-bye. And as I've been reading and hearing, not gonna be for very much more longer. They got quite a bit of debt coming up as well too. So, if you're actually going to buy a Gibson, don't buy a new one. Actually look back at the supposedly quote-unquote crappy years of Gibson's the 70s. People have even said some of the 70s stuff is actually better than the new stuff, so what does that as well tell you, Gibson? Anyways, there's my little rant about Gibson and their recent activities. Have a good one, folks.